And we're on, dude.
Oh, what up?
Yeah. What up? Look, man, I've had heartbreak this morning, which we'll talk about next week. But at least I got some good gossip for this week, dude. That's the main thing that I like to look forward to every week.
It's always my highlight of the week.
Yeah. How much sleuthing has James been able to do this week? How many obscure news places has James been able to go to and translate on Google?
How deep dived have you gone into
The amount of
this week?
Instagram pages that I follow that are just 95% useless, but you get one good thing out of it. It's what I spend my time doing now, man.
Dude, well, love that for you.
yeah, I don't. No one else would love it, but apparently I do. But
where are we starting this week? Because you like to go global.
An interesting source we're starting this week: North Korea.
Okay, we haven't hit North Korea yet.
yeah. Hey, I've been ragging mostly around Spain.
Oh, don't worry, we'll get there.
Oh, I'm game. So look, this week North Korea has finally allowed for the Premier League to be aired, broadcasted throughout North Korea. However, they have a few caveats. So they've got 5 different things that will be allowed. So one, the matches will not be broadcast live and will be edited.
Of course, as everything is in North Korea.
Of course, it's all propaganda. They have to.
Yeah.
So each match will be shortened from 90 minutes to 60 minutes. I don't know why. There's no explanation to why they have to do that. But they're going to shorten the games to 60 minutes.
Okay.
All the English text that are in the stadium will actually be converted into Korean graphics.
Okay. So like sponsors and...
Yep. So sponsors and all that stuff.
When the VAR pops up.
It'll all be converted into Korean, which is probably better. They can read it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they don't want them to learn English. I think that's kind of the main thing for it.
They don't want to give out anything outside of North Korea.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? So English is a part of that. So
that's because North Korea are awesome, dude.
Apparently.
Yeah, that's what the Supreme Leader keeps telling us. Now this next one makes the most sense. So there'll be no South Korean players shown.
Of course.
Which I'm trying to think is like, do they cut them out of the games or do they just not show their games?
Well, I think what would happen is they're cutting down to 60 minutes.
Yeah.
That gives them like time to cut out what they want.
It only really affects three teams. So you have Son at Tottenham.
The biggest South Korean star ever.
You've got Kim Ji-soo at Brentford.
Okay.
And Hwang Hee-chan from Wolves.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Either those players will just be removed from the screen, so it'll just be like you'll just see the time. Like that'll be the funniest bit because it's just like that Simpsons episode where they're trying to frame him for grabbing the babysitter's
and he does
ass.
the news interview.
Yeah, and the time just keeps changing back and forward.
Yeah.
That's what it'll be because it'll just be them. It'll just be them there for a portion, being like it'll be like the 53rd minute. He'll have like the ball for a few minutes. It'll be like 58th. Well, and then it'll just cut to another player have the ball. How'd they happen?
But the best part's going to be, okay, imagine Son scores a hat trick, but obviously how are you going to, let's say Spurs win 3-0, okay? Yeah. Son scores a hat trick. How are you going to justify showing that there's no goals, but the score's 3-0? I know what they could do. Just take a clip from another game where someone else scores, against a different opponent, and just go,
I thought it would be even better if they just get like the real dodgy Photoshop with the Supreme Leader's head, and it's just him scoring. They get the Supreme Leader scores a hat trick.
Supreme Leader plays for Spurs. Well, they've got a lot of injuries at the moment, so they might need him.
And then
what else they got?
The final requirement is any scenes displaying LGBTQ plus symbols edited out.
Armband.
Yeah.
They have the arm. Some I don't know how much they do it now, but some of them do the armband.
Rainbow armband.
So does that mean you're never going to show the captain?
Well, the captain's arm would just be missing. Like he's just got one arm and like a nub, and they're like, whoa, there's a lot of one-arm players in the league.
Oh, the captain has one arm.
Yeah,
good for him.
It's part of the requirements that if you're the captain, they chop off your arm.
I wonder if there's anything else. So I remember maybe flags and stuff in the background, they put up the banners.
Yeah,
maybe a banner.
A banner, or if it comes up where we are against hate crimes against LGBTQ or that kind of stuff. When it comes up, they're just going to be like, oh, we'll edit that out. I mean,
they'll just put a photo of Kim Jong Un. Are we up to Un or Il? Un.
I don't know.
Kim Jong.
I don't follow the politics of North Korea all that
Our
closely,
supreme leader.
unfortunately.
They just
Yeah.
put photos of him over the top of the banners.
Yeah. Well, listen, here's one page I won't be following. Anything regarding North Korea, because I feel like I'll start getting investigated. And like,
Dude, 100%.
he has a lot of obscure pages that he follows, and there's several about North Korea.
Kill
So I
him.
just wanted to know about the Premier League.
Kill him.
Yeah. I just wanted to. Next minute, I'm there with Dennis Rodman,
fuck yeah,
meeting
bro.
with the supreme leader.
To be fair, I'd go to North Korea with Dennis Rodman. That'd be hectic.
Well, dude, they take your passport. So if you go to North Korea, they're just like, give me your passport. I'm like, I want to give you my passport.
How am I going to get home?
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, we'll take care of that.
Oh, yeah. We'll
In a
totally
body bag.
we'll let you leave. Yeah, I don't trust this.
Put him in a body bag.
And then,
Well, good for North Korea. They're getting to watch some EPL now.
I'm happy for the
Hey,
people.
look, they're like-
it's,
they got about-
it's quality shit.
They got
as
about
say.
75% of the Premier League, so good for them. It's better
Well,
than nothing.
I think after all the edits and stuff like that, maybe more 60, but it's something.
It's something, yeah.
I mean, it's better than what was the one where they had? I think it was his father, not the current
Kim Jong Il.
The father, where they hosted a soccer match and like he played in the soccer match and scored like every goal, and everyone
he
just
did.
sat there clapping like, yeah.
Dude. Oh, fuck, that'd be horrible. That'd be horrible living in a communist country.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right, now
we've got-
what part of the world are we moving to next?
Now, well, it is slightly EPL kind of South America mixed in, so it's been a big allegation for a while. So Lucas Paqueta, right?
West Ham forward.
Yeah, the West Ham. I think what he's like an attacking midfielder.
Yeah, attacking midfielder, something
Right.
like that. Yeah.
And a decent player for West Ham.
Yeah.
But he obviously got stood down from the FA because he had three related betting allegations against him, and it was for him getting yellow cards in games. So there's 4 games that were under investigation, and I think 3 of them they've confirmed that he had kind of purposely got yellow cards because people were betting him. So the games in question. So it was a game against Leicester, November 12, 2022.
Yeah, okay.
Aston Villa, March 12, 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was Leeds, May 21, 2023.
So it's all in the same season.
Yeah, and then
Bro.
you've got Bournemouth, August 12, 2023. Now,
No, that was the new season, yeah.
what I find interesting is that they're all on the 12th, bar one game, which is on the 21st. It's something about the numbers, dude.
Bro,
You know?
if you're going to do it, like make it a bit more obscure. Don't just give him, the 12th is on, Paqueta's going to get a yellow card.
Yeah,
Come on,
exactly
bro.
right. So obviously the FA has come out, charged him with 3 different kind of
It's like a
betting violations.
Yeah.
Now, so obviously Paqueta's come out and denied this via Instagram. So
Obviously,
his statement is, I deny the charges in their entirety, and I will fight with every breath to clear my name. I will not be providing any further comment. Okay.
Every guilty man says that.
Correct, right? I mean, they're not going to come out and be like, all right,
I did it.
I did it.
I did it.
I did it. Please, ban me for life. So there's some funny accusations that come out of this. And this is kind of, I wanted to dive into it, to be honest.
All right.
So allegedly, there's a claim that Paqueta had sent his brother a message in one of them saying, he's going to get a yellow card for his birthday. So essentially saying, bet on me in this game. I'm going to get a yellow card.
That was the Leicester game?
I'm not sure specifically
sure.
what
Okay,
game.
okay.
It's just that there's an accusation that there's a message, and he was saying, "Here's your present, me getting a
bet
yellow
on me.
card." Yeah,
Bet on me, you're going to win thousands.
yeah, you know what I mean. And then, look, the main culprit of this is Paqueta's uncle.
Okay.
So his name's Tolentino. Now he's actually facing jail time for this. So he's facing
Really?
up. Yeah,
Damn,
he's
okay.
facing up to 6 years behind bars if he's found guilty of criminal charges in Brazil. So it's also accused that the uncle has a kind of a ring of players doing it. So there's Luis.
Fuck, this is proper.
Yeah, so Luis Enrique, who played for Real Betis.
Yep.
So there's accusations that he had this guy kind of under his thumb or as a part of his organization. That that he was getting yellow cards as well. So the inquiry stated that Marlon was responsible for recruiting. Marlon is Tolentino.
Yep.
For recruiting players to a sports fixing network, and Tolentino had made 5 different payments to Luis Enrique at Betis, which totaled 13,500 euros.
Wow.
It doesn't seem like that much money if you're in a professional football system. Like if you get into the Premier League, you're making more than that per week.
Mm.
and you're going to risk it. I get it. Like in the La Liga, they're not going to be making as much.
Especially if it's like Real Betis, they might be on like match payments. You don't know.
So
You don't know what their wages were. Plus, might have like bastard kids. They might have gambling debts.
That's the problem with them.
You know what I mean? Like okay, Brazilians, they like to fuck.
And they like to party.
They like to party, yeah.
And there's, repercussions to that, which apparently they need 13,500 euros for.
And you can become part of a betting ring. You know what I mean?
It's only natural. It's a logical step for these players to take.
Yeah.
It's like become a professional sports player, become a professional footballer,
Party your life away,
and rig games.
And then the next thing is going to be smuggling drugs.
Yeah.
That's obviously the next thing that's going to happen.
Well, yeah, and as we've seen it,
we will stay updated for that.
Yeah. But this is the funniest part of it. So this whole thing has come about because obviously there's this obscure bets being made with the betting organisations that are taking this, especially some of them that are major sponsors to the Premier League and to all the different leagues. So the best is, and now this was not placed by Paqueta himself. However, all the bets were coming from accounts registered on the Isle of Paqueta, which is where his whole family is from.
Might as well just have a big fucking red arrow. Just be like, it was me.
I did it.
Yeah, it was me.
I did it. What's that movie, Role Models? Have you ever seen where he's like, look at me, stealing TVs. And then they go, well, that's you. It's not me. It can't be me. It's not me.
Oh, what a movie. That was, look at me, stealing TV. Does he say his name as well?
Yeah, he does. Look at me, Lucas Paqueta, getting yellow cards on purpose. That's what I love to do.
On the Isle of Paqueta.
Yeah. Bet on me. It's just a live stream to Paqueta like a bar. He's like, just bet on me in this one, guys. I got a yellow card. It's almost like if he walked out for the game and he looks at the camera and goes, like, fucking idiot.
Oh yeah, well let's see how this goes. Well, I don't have high hopes for this.
No, not at all. Because it all came out this week, where obviously they've had an update to the FA investigation, all this type of stuff, and just the main line from the FA is he's expected to lose his legal battle and be banned for life.
Yes.
So you ain't going to be seeing him in the Premier League ever again.
That's a shame.
Look, whether or not he goes back to Brazil and they allow him to play, but given that the Brazilian leagues are going after his uncle so hard, you may never see him play again.
Oh, well, I hope the thousands that he earned from betting against himself was worth it.
Yeah, you'd hope so, because it's not getting better for him.
No.
Now, on to some La Liga action, baby.
We're back to Spain.
Yeah, I mean, they do the best shit.
They do.
They do the best shit. So, and this is kind of a sad one, because he's a wholesome player. So, Marc-Andre ter Stegen, right?
Yep, Barcelona goalkeeper.
Like, fantastic goalkeeper too.
Poor guy this year because he tore his ACL very early in the season. So there's more sad news to that?
There's 100% more sad news to that.
Oh.
So this is kind of via Instagram that we've picked up this week, and there is divorcing. So him and his wife are divorcing. So apparently there's been infidelity from his wife with her personal trainer.
It's always a good one.
It's usual, right? It's a jiu-jitsu coach.
Yeah.
It's a personal trainer.
Something
it's like,
physical.
Yeah, they get bored at home, and then they decide like, oh, damn, I'm so bored in this lovely house that I live in with all the things that he's provided for me.
I'm gonna bang the hell.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I pay you $200 an hour. This seems like a good future for me.
I feel like they just get like into situations where they're like hot and sweaty, and they're just going, you know what? Let's take it to the next level.
Well, I mean, look, it's concerning, right? So, also, here's the guy, and I'm like, Marc-Andre ter Stegen's not an ugly man, right?
No.
Look at him.
He's all right. He kind of looks like Hitler's youth.
Yeah, and she goes with this personal trainer.
One,
get some cleaner shoes, dude.
Yeah, I know. If you're a PT for the Stars, get some nicer shoes. Also,
that's what I mean.
She's got chicken legs for a PT.
Yeah, I mean, she could do better.
I'm not impressed.
No, I'm not impressed either.
Not impressed at all.
It's a bad choice on her part.
He's no Michael B. Jordan, I'll put it that way.
No, that's what I mean. I mean, like, do better than what you got.
Exactly.
Right?
But just do better. Yeah.
It's like you see these big fat guys on yachts with these real hot chicks and stuff. Still billionaire. Not a poor guy.
Not a PT.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Hey, just saying, nothing wrong with PTs, but professional footballer,
Yeah.
PT.
At Barcelona, like he's surely going to be making what, 100 grand a week?
Oh,
More?
for Barca, probably easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Well, I mean, with Barca at the moment, who knows? They may be
Maybe they're giving it to him in vouchers.
Well, look, I feel for the guy because you got to think like, what's the motive for sorry, that's good. Well, what's the motive for doing this, right? He's taken it on the chin and taken it pretty well as well. He's moved into a hotel in Barcelona and he's just living there. He's also come out and like publicly said, "Look, yeah, we're splitting up. You know, it's something that's happened, and I'd appreciate if you left her alone. Don't be the nice guy, dude.
He is a nice guy. Like you never see him get into any sort of trouble. You never see him like getting into any problems on the field. He seems like a down to earth type of football player. But I had a point that I was going to say. Oh, he'll move on. He'll
Well, I mean,
he'll be fine.
I'm sure he'll find another lady to court him.
Yeah,
that he deserves.
And then she can go fucking get free PT lessons at
that's what I mean.
At his fucking slumdog house.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure she's going to take half his crap.
She'll take half his crap.
Yeah.
Unless he did a Hakimi.
He doesn't seem like a Hakimi
he doesn't
type
look
of guy.
like a Hakimi guy.
He doesn't seem like a Hakimi guy, dude. Now, onto more of a scumbag.
Same country?
Same country? Well, sorry. Are they both?
No, he's Belgian. But it's still Spain.
It's still, they're both still playing Spain.
And we're
they
talking
play
about
against each other's rivals.
Hey, the big rival.
Yeah, Thibaut Courtois.
Yes,
right?
Real Madrid keeper.
Real Madrid keeper. And now, look, obviously he's got sagas to his name. So
this guy is a piece of shit.
He's gone. He banged De Bruyne's misses
when they were playing up and coming in Belgium.
Mm-hmm,
yep,
correct. Then he's cheated on multiple of his girlfriends, or baby mamas.
Yep.
Like you name it, he's done it. But now we've got one of his ex-lovers, Elsa Isaac, has come out and said that she's about to be homeless and she has Courtois' child and needs money. That's the kind of short and simple of it. Now, I'll cut to some photos in a second, but let's just run through what this kind of claim is.
Okay.
Right? So, Elsa Isaac, who's 50 years old, by the way.
As of now?
As of now.
Okay, so, wow. Okay, because Courtois is 32.
Yeah.
So...
And the son that she's alleging is his son.
Yes.
Is 7.
So, they must have met about 8 years ago. Yeah. So, she would have been like 42.
And it was while he was at Chelsea.
Yes, so because he would have been 24. Wow, 24-year-old banging 42.
It is a nice 18-year age gap.
Yes.
There, you know what I mean?
Okay,
so
cool. All right.
Fair enough.
Hey, look, he's spreading his wings, you know? He's trying
all the berry, the sweet of the juice.
No, it's the black of the berry, the sweet of the juice. She blacker
kind of applies too.
She blacker than a motherfucker. No, that's in a movie, bro. Relax. That's in Friday.
Yeah.
With Miss the hot neighbor.
The hot neighbor, yeah. Well, kind of applies.
Yeah.
This is what he finds to be the hot neighbor.
Did he watch Friday and just thought, I'm going to fucking bang this shit?
That's a good idea. He was learning English from it. So what's alleged is that he was sleeping with her during his time at Chelsea. So they were neighbours while he lived in Wimbledon.
That's like banging the neighbours, right?
And apparently they got acquainted because she was collecting his parcels and would deliver the parcels to him. Mind you, he was dating Marta Dominguez.
Sounds like a porno.
It is, dude. Like his life is just one giant porno. So he was dating Marta Dominguez at the time, which is why he moved to Spain, right? Because she had his kid.
She had his kid, and she moved away after they got divorced. I'm assuming this might have been a part of it.
Yes.
And then he left Chelsea because he wanted to be closer to his child with Dominguez, which burnt me at the time because obviously Courtois was the best up-and-coming keeper. And he's like, I'm just going to fuck off to Spain for my family. I was like, dude, fuck your family. Now I'm just like, hold on. You had a family here, you piece of shit. You could have fucking stayed.
Exactly right. So apparently, Elsa's a former Versace designer, was married but then split up with her husband before she had the fling goalkeeper.
Yeah.
So, in 2019, the Daily Star reported that they had a tryst, of that word, tryst.
A what?
In Chelsea team hotel. So they had rendezvous in the Chelsea team hotel before matches. So she would come before the match.
Nobody was so limber.
Yeah, he was so relaxed. He had this older lady sorting him out. Anyway, she now fears because she lives in a $3 million property in Wimbledon, same place.
Yep.
And like obviously doesn't have
as in like the place that she was staying at when she was next to Courtois. Okay.
Correct. Yeah. So she now can't afford her £63,000 mortgage payments. She has a mold-infested house.
I did see that was gross.
And she thinks everything's falling apart. So she's come out publicly and said that he needs to help out with paying for the home that his child lives in. So look, this is on the Daily Mail reports, right? They've gone through and gotten some photos of her. So this is her, current. She's 50 years old.
Look, not bad for a 50-year-old.
For 50 years old, not too bad, right?
Good. I mean, she doesn't have to work.
However, this is his current girlfriend.
Yeah. There's levels to this game.
Yeah. Model Michelle Gerzig.
Gerzig? Yeah, sure. She's Israeli. Cool.
And he also has a daughter with her.
Odd.
Yeah.
Bro, is this guy future?
I don't know, dude. I want to do a background check on how many kids he's got now.
I think we need to do a
background check. I didn't realize he had so many children.
He's just slanging that dick everywhere.
Yeah, dude. So, he's more... So... Elsa now tells the son that her mold-ridden Wimbledon home could be repossessed, while he earns reportedly £240,000 per week.
Okay,
euros, I should say.
At the start of this, I thought that he might have put her into this place, and then he just kind of dogged her. But if she lived there before, she should have had those repayments being made some way, right?
I mean, I assume so.
Yeah.
Right. So it sounds like either she's taken this house from
her ex, maybe? Yeah.
The previous kind of her ex.
Yeah.
Or she's gotten some kind of money from the ex or whatever, gone and bought this house.
Yeah.
And now lives in it and has no job.
And exactly.
Right? So she's got no job and now she's, looking for money off.
That's what it sounds like to me.
The ex-famous guy that she used to bang that she apparently has a kid with. And it's alleged that she has the child.
So it's not even confirmed.
There's no confirmation. He hasn't confirmed that it's his child.
I would be thinking that he would be paying alimony or child support.
Well, this is what I'm confused by.
Yeah.
So she claims there that he's never sent a birthday or a Christmas card to her child Enzo.
Enzo. He's not Enzo.
Yeah.
What half Belgian?
We've got a
half
picture.
English kid's called Enzo.
I also love that in all of these pictures they always wear the jersey.
Yeah, they got it. That's his jersey.
They're like, it has to be your kid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is definitely yours. It's wearing a Chelsea.
It's wearing a Chelsea jersey. Why else would the child wear a Chelsea jersey?
I reckon he banged her in that keeper jersey and gave it to her. It's like, here, you can.
Yeah.
How much,
baby?
Alimony payments. There you go.
You could sell this for a few $100.
Yeah. Look, I was kind of on her side when I first heard the story, but now I'm kind of like, I don't know if she's trying to scam him.
But it's also coming up publicly, right? Like,
desperate times, they always just go to the sun.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They're just like, I need some money real bad.
Yeah.
You should pay. It's like, what?
I used to live next to Courtois.
Yeah.
This is his baby. Really?
Sure.
Why not?
Do you have any proof that it's his baby?
No.
Yeah. No. But,
I have him in a Chelsea jersey.
Yeah. See, I also have a Chelsea jersey. I have the same jersey. See? Same. So, whether or not it's true, but on that, he's Marta Dominguez, which he also has a child with. So we're up to 3.
I wonder
we're up to 3 just via this one rendezvous.
I've just got one inquiry. I wonder if when they say if you got big feet, you're in proportion. Well, the motherfucker's got big hands.
Well, he's also He's like 6'8".
Right, he's a big cunt too. Yeah, he's like
huge.
6'8". Yeah,
he's
so
huge.
If he's in proportion, maybe that's why he's slinging so much dick.
I mean, it's got to be something, right?
Because it's not his face.
just looks like an idiot.
I hope he hears this.
I'd be super surprised if he did.
I'd be super surprised too.
Also, I'll put my phone number up. He can ring me if he wants to go off me. Because not only would that be the funniest fucking conversation ever, it's like, you said I've got a real fucked up face.
I would have so many questions for him. I'm like, dude, how many chicks have you banged?
Yeah. How many children do you have?
Are you competing with Future?
Yeah.
For baby mamas?
Yeah, him and Nick Cannon.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
he's
The
going
king-
after Nick Cannon's numbers,
the
bro.
king of baby mamas.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Well, let's see how she goes. I'm not going to have high hopes for that one. If it's not even confirmed yet,
Yeah,
she's just...
I'm pretty
She might
sure.
get money from the Sun, you know what I mean?
Yeah, look,
S-U-N,
maybe.
not S-O-N.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the SON seems difficult. He's 7,
Yeah.
8. Yeah, it's not going to go well
Yeah,
for
it
him.
ain't happening.
You know. But look, before we move on to any of the Premier League,
Yep.
I've kind of got like a hero of the week / most shocking football
I
career.
think I would put it down as the most interesting footballer ever.
But yeah, for sure.
And we're not even talking about football.
No, he's had his life within football.
Yes,
is what's
yes.
crazy. So, and we looked up this name before. So it's Lutz Pfannelstiel.
Pfannelstiel.
Now, I'll go through this guy's career because what he's done in football is not prolific whatsoever. But it is insane. So he's the first player to ever play across 6 continents.
So we just didn't play in Antarctica.
Yep.
Or maybe we did play in Antarctica.
I don't know. When we kind of get to what he did in New Zealand,
Yeah. Fuck.
it kind of makes sense.
Yeah. So he just missed out on Antarctica. Cool.
Yeah. So he turned. So as a youth player, he's German.
Mm-hmm.
As a youth player, he came up, got an offer to go play for Bayern Munich. He said no to Bayern Munich because he wanted to play a lot more.
Yeah.
So he
He
moved.
probably would have been on the bench.
Yeah,
behind
you'd be third,
Oliver
fourth
Kahn. He
keeper.
probably would have been like behind Oliver Kahn.
Yeah, this is during the 90s, right?
Yeah, something like Oliver Kahn or something like
even
that.
even the late 80s. So
Yeah.
so he moved. So he chose to move to Penang, Malaysia.
Interesting.
That's
interesting.
an interesting
Well, that's
choice.
Asia.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. So during his time, so he moved to Penang, Asia, to play more football.
Yep.
During his time, he played in Brazil,
South America.
New Zealand,
Oceania.
South Africa,
Africa.
Canada,
That's the North America.
yeah, Albania.
Europe. There we go. There's your 6.
Then he's also had Namibia, Armenia, and Malta. This is via Nottingham Forest and played for Wimbledon. But he
Wow.
played for the Wimbledon team, which was, named the Crazy Gang, which was Vinnie Jones,
yeah.
and just the wildest English players ever. They were just going around killing people.
Yeah, they had no
grabbing
recourse.
people's balls.
They had no recourse for their tackles either. They were
Fastest
just
red cards
flying.
in the league.
Yeah,
like,
they
just
loved it.
out of control. So, I mean, that all sounds good, right? He just went around the world, wanted to
It
play.
seems like he traveled via football.
Hey, look, I
That's
mean,
cool.
if you're going to be like kind of a mid-tier player, I respect that.
Yeah, that's
right?
cool.
Go around, like live your life, like go and
imagine being
experience
his-
everything you can.
Imagine being his agent, and they're like, "Look, man, I'm kind of not liking here in Namibia.
Yeah,
Can I move to Canada?
yeah,
Okay,
for sure. What about Armenia?
Yeah.
Even better.
Let me see if I can find a team for you. I've got a second division team in Armenia. Perfect. Send me there.
But this is also like before Instagram and all that, right? This
Yeah.
is during the 90s. So
He's
it's
just,
like,
cunts just traveling, bro.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like you can kind of just do whatever
Imagine
you
his
want.
agent was actually a travel agent.
He didn't know what an agent was, so he just kept going. He kept going into this place. It was Flight Center. I don't know. Like, he goes, they went in there. Their fees were cheap. They never took 10%. It was fine.
Yeah, it was great. I just
Yeah.
had to pay for my flights there, and it was all sorted.
Yeah.
I even had accommodation sorted out. They were great.
However, so whilst he had a stint in Singapore,
All right, going back to
He's-
Asia.
his entire life turned upside down from his career.
Okay.
So when he was in Singapore, he was living the life. He was like the man over there. So he was a model for Armani
In
Yeah.
Singapore.
in Singapore.
Hectic.
He had his own TV show.
Hectic.
Yeah, so just killing
How
it,
the
dude.
fuck did he get his own TV show?
I don't know. This
I
guy
play
must
football. Okay, here's a TV show.
He must be the biggest personality ever, dude. But also, you got to think, there's obviously in the Singaporean league, there's not going to be too many non-Singaporeans playing at that time.
Especially back in the 90s.
100%, right? Like no one really had kind of overseas players. Even the English league had very
Yeah, they were
little
very.
overseas players.
I remember when Zola went to the Premier League in like the
was
mid 90s.
huge.
That was massive,
Huge.
right? Yeah. So imagine early 90s in Singapore.
Yeah,
You're getting a German keeper. You're like, hectic, whatever.
and this is where kind of his career started turning. So he got accused of match fixing while he
Ooh,
was in
okay.
Singapore, and overnight got taken from his home, locked up in jail.
So the model TV personality was fixing matches in football games
Yep.
that he was playing in.
Yep.
Okay, that's a movie right there.
It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense because you have a TV show and you're a model. Like you're obviously
Yeah.
making bank, dude.
Yeah.
So he gets locked up, and apparently it's a very notorious prison. I've been trying to find what prison it is, but I cannot find details on it.
Okay.
But it was a notorious prison, but obviously terrible conditions. So he was locked up for 101 days while he was in Singapore.
About 3 months, over 3 months. Yeah.
Over 3 months, and then all the charges were dropped, and they found out he actually had nothing to do with anything.
Oh no.
Yeah, so he was not match fixing whatsoever. His whole life's been destroyed. So he spent 101 days in prison. He was being cleared of any wrongdoing. So he actually done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
So after this, he decided like, fuck this, I'm out of here.
Yeah, fuck that.
I'm moving to New Zealand, where his antics kind of just continued. He obviously liked to have a good time, this guy. So it's reported that while he was in New Zealand, people broke into his house and stole some of his match jerseys that obviously like he's either traded or collected or his own.
Yep.
Now, instead of just using the authorities, he decided to track down these thieves himself and apparently found them and got back his jerseys. I'm like, respect, dude.
Well, he went down the OJ path. That's what OJ did.
Yeah, dude.
Except he didn't get caught.
Yeah. Well, he might have got caught, but I think they just never charged him with anything. Now, while he was still in New Zealand, he had a great idea to break into the local zoo and kidnap a penguin, dude.
Sure.
So
why not?
His whole intention, he got caught, right? He wasn't able to kidnap the...
Yeah, I saw this guy on a bus with a penguin.
Yeah.
I think you might want to check this out.
But his whole intention was that he was going to take the penguin and keep it in his bathtub.
Of course. They're made for bathtubs, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Never tried to kidnap a penguin.
Oh, my God.
And then I'm like, this guy's lived an insane kind of career. But now... the most crazy part of his career comes up. So his biggest battle came during his time when he was at Bradford Park. Right?
Bradford, in England.
In England. So he was playing for Bradford Park. He collided with the opposition striker. By the way, he was a goalkeeper.
Yep.
I never kind of covered that. But yeah, so because we never cared what he did in football. So he's come out. He's collided with the opposition striker, right? In which both of his lungs collapsed.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, so he wasn't
Must
able
to... heavy contact.
Yeah, massive.
Oof.
I mean, if I'm not going to be able to find a video from the 90s, but... so
especially at Bradford City.
He actually, lost consciousness and a pulse 3 separate times.
Shit.
So was pronounced dead, essentially, 3 different times, and was only saved because the Bradford physio... wouldn't give up and kept resuscitating him.
No way.
Yep. So he would obviously like resuscitate him. He'd come to and then go and then essentially die again.
Wow.
They would resuscitate him again. He would then die again, resuscitate him, die again.
Damn.
Right? Until the ambulance got there, managed to get him in, fixed him up.
Yeah.
Right? And then obviously retired from football after that. That was the kind of end of his career.
You would think so, yeah.
However, then went into a manager's career.
Oh, awesome. That's good for your heart.
In which he managed Cuba and Namibia.
What, the national
the
teams?
National teams.
Really? Cuba and
Cuba and
I mean,
Namibia.
like, Namibia would make sense because he played there. So he would have been, like, pretty famous there as well. He's like this super German white dude in Namibia. He'd be like, I remember him.
And so, dude, what a career.
This should be a Netflix doco/show. I don't know which way you'd want to go with it.
I think you'd go show with it.
You go show and just make it like make it like a Tommy Lee, like the Tommy Lee version.
Oh yeah.
Just go obscure as fuck and just go like outlandish.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it'd probably be more of a Tubi type of situation than a Netflix, but
I like Tubi.
Yeah,
Tubi's got some good shit. Yeah. Also has some horrible shit, so we'll see which way we fall into.
Yeah.
But I think we should be pushing this guy to have his own. I know he has a book.
Yeah.
They should turn that book into a show
on Tubi, and I'm down.
And I'm in.
Yeah, I'm watching it. If they made 9 Killer Bong movies, I think they can make a limited series on this guy.
Killer Bong.
Yeah.
Oh god, what a piece of shit that was.
Look, that's my gossip and stories for the week.
We ventured around the world. We literally went around the world for that one.
We did. Around the world. Didn't take 80 days either. Hey, see what I did there? Why don't we jump in match day 28?
Yeah.
I managed 5 out of 10 this week.
You got another step on me. I got 4 this week. It's a very, very obscure week. Very, very weird.
I head by 5.
5 now, yeah. You pushed them back
5.
ahead, yeah. All right, so let's start with the Forest City game. So I had a draw in this game.
I had City in this game.
Yeah, and fucking Forest, Good for them, man. They came out with a 1-0 win.
I think the one thing you say about this, I think City lost this more than Forest won it.
Yes, the first half it was all City, but they weren't like good chances. They were like half chances. You know, like shots from outside the box or.
There was a few that were like crosses across, and I think, Haaland? Blanking his. Doku had a few. Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva had one right in front, which was across, and he bombed it into Rosé.
Bro, he cracked the fuck out of that to no one.
Yeah, I'm like, what is going on?
Must have been a sick kid up there.
Yeah, yeah, you have a ball.
So the first half was pretty much all City. Second half was more Forest made the changes and they were able to push a bit more. But Hudson-Odoi had a shot save in the 68th minute.
That was a great save too.
Right, what? Because Edison had someone in front of him.
Yeah.
Couldn't see, and all of a sudden he just sticks a hand out, bang, around the post. And then in the 83rd minute, I'm watching this game thinking, oh, it's going to be a draw, hectic, because I picked the draw. And then fucking 83rd minute, Gibbs White pitches the ball.
Great ball, dude.
Great ball. Hudson-Odoi stayed on side. And then, he scores on the near post, which
when I saw this, I thought Ortega was in goals, right? Because I didn't watch the game. I saw the highlights.
Yeah.
And obviously that just popped up on my Instagram. And I had a look at it and I thought, is that Ortega in the goal?
Because it's not like Edison to have a mistake like that.
Because he's out of
mistakes.
position.
He makes mistakes, but
Everyone does.
Not like that. Like to be so far off your near post and to get done like that was very, very unlike him.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because I've watched it back a couple times now. And every time I'm like, I don't see how Hudson-Odoi scored.
Yeah.
Because he's got a player on him, so he knows that he can't go the far post.
Vardiol. Vardiol's he's holding.
He's
like,
holding. Yeah, he's cutting the angle.
Goal.
Yeah, he's cutting the angle, so you can't go for the far post. All you have is the near post, and he's not on his post.
Yeah, which I thought was very, very odd, very unlike. But you know what, Hudson-Odoi has been in a bit of a purple patch at the moment.
He has, yeah, no, definitely.
And then look, obviously City tried to push. Kovacic had a really good chance to score in the 91st minute, just missed the goal, and that was it. Forest get away with a win.
Forest 1-0, and
that pushes them to third. Pushes City to fifth.
I have seen. There's a bet that's circulating from like one of the fans.
Yeah.
Forest. It's like £100,000 win off $10 type of situation, which Forest to win the FA Cup.
Ooh.
And to finish in the top 6.
That's hectic.
So he's definitely going to get the top 6.
The way they're playing at the moment, look, it is very tight, but the way that they're playing, they're probably the best outside of you and Arsenal. Forest are playing the best foot. Like,
sorry.
Outside of you two,
yeah,
you and Arsenal, Forest are probably they're third at the moment, so they're in prime position for that. So that's a cracker bet.
100%, dude.
And you know what? I would love to see Forest win the FA Cup. I'm sick of like big teams winning all the time. Like the last underdog story to win was probably Wigan.
Yeah,
when Wigan won, which is like fucking 2012, I think.
Yeah.
So like ever since then, it's always been like a pretty good team. So it'd be nice to see Forest get that FA Cup win and for that guy to win 100 Gs. That'd be 100%. Sick. Next game, we will do the... Where do you want to go?
Liverpool-Southampton?
You want to do it now?
We'll just run through it.
Look, this one was quick as fuck because, we both had Liverpool. Yeah. That was easy.
I'm going the other way. Southampton. I mean, to be fair, it was a scare.
Let's talk about the first half.
It was a scare.
Yeah.
We played terrible in the first half.
Yeah.
Right? We did have chances. We were just very lackluster with our performance.
I think you guys were obviously more concerned about the PSG game.
Yeah. No, you could see our focus was not on that game, it was on the next game.
You guys already pretty much won the league. It's not official yet, but it will be very soon. And
we're already calling it from the rooftops.
Yeah, right? and you're playing Southampton at home. To be fair, the Champions League was the game to be looking forward to. This one was just a training. It should have been a training session.
I think, obviously when we do the Champions League next week, I'll comment on this.
Yep.
So, I think our performance in this game affected our Champions League performance because like as we saw, we went down 1-0 to Southampton, which is highly unexpected. And it went in a terrible fashion.
Yeah, proper mix-up by
you got
your two
Van
most
Dijk trying to block the ball, right? And to have Alisson come out. But again, you shouldn't be doing it unless the keeper is asking you to do that.
Yeah, that's the keeper's call.
I get that was the right thing to do from Van Dijk. Yeah. But if he's not ready for it, then it's the wrong thing to do, which it was.
Yep.
Because then when he's come out, they've just essentially small bone. He's he's had a tap in.
Yeah.
I mean, good for him. He kept chasing the ball and he got it.
And bro, you go into halftime thinking, what the fuck?
Yeah, yeah.
Who would have
'Cause
thought this?
It was in extra time for the half.
46 minute,
Yeah.
yeah. And then look, obviously you guys come out in the second half with the big guys need to come back. So Nunez gets his goal.
Yep, rare one
Um,
from Nunez.
The big did you see his celebration?
they're shushing the crowd.
Was he shushing the Liverpool crowd? Was he shushing
I think
the
he's
Southampton crowd?
I think he's just shushing kind of the haters, dude. He's obviously copping a lot of slack from pretty much every angle.
I think
at the moment,
some of it is justified though, like his criticism.
yeah, no, for sure. Because I mean, look, like we said, we always lose faith in him. Then he just reels you back in.
Just when I think I'm out.
Yeah,
He pulls me back in.
fucking bastard, dude.
You just want him to suck, so you can be like, "That's it, I'm done."
Yeah, that's
But
what I
he-
mean.
he-
Just
he just-
consistently suck. But then it's like, you always go back to the Newcastle game when it didn't look like we were going to win a game, and then he comes on, he scores 2 goals, like
Yeah.
right at the end. You're like, right,
Fuck.
I love you
And
again.
then he sucks again, and in the PSG game in the first leg, he gets the header and
He gets the
assist
header
for Harvey Elliott,
and we
and
get
you're
the
like,
goal. We win 1-0. You're like,
"Fuck!"
what the fuck, dude? And then not only that, he wins the penalty.
Now, the winning of the penalty. This happens in another game. I think it was the Brighton game. I really hate when a penalty is given for a player who's going to clear the ball, and some striker just sticks a leg in front of him, cops a foul, and ends up being a penalty.
I mean, what else? What are you going to do? Because it's
know.
a foul in the middle of the park, and
I
it's
know.
like you can't exactly sit there and go, "Well, it's not a foul," because it is a foul. Right? It just
It's
sucks.
such a I don't want to say scummy way of getting a penalty, but it's real grimy.
Yeah, well, it's better than diving.
It's better than diving.
It's better than diving.
He's getting hit.
So it's like
but
if diving's the bottom level. It's like tier 2. You know, like
it's like his foot's here and he's clear. He's pushing through to hit it, and some guy just goes, "Oh, there's my foot." Bang.
Yeah.
Penalty. Like, fuck. Like
Yeah.
it's so annoying. You're like, "Oh, ball's here. Oh, now there's a foot. Now I've got it." Penalty.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck.
Look, it's a dirty penalty to get, but I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, and that was 3 minutes later, and obviously Salah banged that through, and then the second pen was a handball. And to be fair, that Asian defender, he's done that like 3 times this season.
He can't. His arms
He
are out
can't,
here when he's
he
running.
can't judge where the ball's going to go, and
Yeah.
he runs like this.
Yeah.
and just he always ends up with a handball. So Salah gets his second pen, and that was the game.
Yeah.
Where are we going next?
Palace Ipswich.
Palace Ipswich. So I had Palace in this game.
I also had Palace.
Sorry, I just want to say as well in the Liverpool game, you guys had 28 shots.
Oh, it was
It was a full reverse of the PSG game.
yeah. It would. Listen. We're obviously going to have that many shots against Southampton, right? Like we're creating chances, but again, we need a striker because
It's
like
calling for a striker.
an out and
yeah.
out striker. And let's not be Arsenal. Sit there for like 3 years without getting one because we see how that turns out for him. I don't want to be that guy sitting there going, "Yeah, we beat Tottenham."
Well, I think later in the year when the season's coming to an end, we'll do our who we want in our team. We'll do like our own little personal transfer window. So we'll go through who you guys will be looking
Yeah, for
at.
sure.
All right, Palace game. So man, this game was for a 1-0 game. This was so end to end.
Yeah. Well, Ipswich were creating chances, and we've seen them do it all year. To be fair,
They just
they don't go away.
They need more than Delap and Hutchinson. That's the problem. You know what I mean? That's
But
been
again,
their only
they're
outlet.
a smaller
Really.
club, and that's what the problem is. I don't think they're probably going to get relegated.
Yes.
But
Well, there are 6 points off safety at the moment, so they are looking like it's going to be
they're
relegation.
going to need a run in the last kind of.
Yeah. Well, look, in this whole game, 34 shots from both teams.
Mhm.
So there was full end to end. Henderson made 8 saves. He had a cracker game. I think was man of the match as well. But look, first half again. I know I said 34 shots, but it was very half chances. It wasn't anything major.
Yeah,
But Eze hit the post in the 50th minute. Off it.
he's a player that got off in the
Well,
season, hasn't he? Everyone else around him is picked up.
Everyone has picked up his slack, but
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever been great in terms of outlets this year, in terms of goals and assists.
It's true.
He's
It's
been
true.
more, I think he's more of that creative player that draws in players,
Mhm.
and then he can distribute to like your Mateta or your Sa or whoever. So, but he's always class on the ball. Like
Mhm.
on the ball, he looks so good on the ball. And then Sa just missed the goal off a corner in the 66th minute, so you can see Palace were pushing more.
Yeah.
And then in the 82nd minute, Sa chips the keeper. Just kind of popped up for him.
Yeah.
I know that Ipswich are complaining about a foul for that, but it never came to fruition. So Palace get the 1-0 win.
I look good with them. They're very much
They
as
are
well.
they are a team in form, and they're playing very. They usually do this as well. Like they're so up and down, but then they'll just be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what they are? They're a mid-table team, and it shows every year.
Yeah, for sure.
But as long as you're consistently in the Premier League,
No, that's what I mean. Like, get your earnings, you can build from there.
Yeah,
right?
that's it,
You
yeah.
just got to stay in.
That's
That's
it.
the main thing.
Yep.
Then we have Brighton and Fulham.
all right. So I had a draw in this game, and I was so fucking close.
It was close.
So
dude.
close.
It was. I went Brighton.
Yes, fuck, man. That's the difference right there. That's 4 for you, 5 for me. And again, we will get into it. Jimenez gets his goal in the 35th minute. Did you see Iwobi's run and cross
No.
with his goal? He literally gets the ball and just runs straight and just whips it in.
Oh, dude, I did.
I'm looking at it going, is he going to do anything? Nope, he's just going to keep running.
Yeah,
Nope, just keep running.
Yeah.
And then just whips it in. And
That's what he does best, though.
And
Hey,
actually, we were saying last week that Iwobi has been real quiet since probably Christmas time.
He figured it out. He just needed to run straight.
Hit it up straight, brother.
Yeah.
6 minutes later, Van Heck gets his first Brighton goal. Did Fulham forget how to defend?
Dude,
There were 3 guys at the back post,
And
and
no
no one
one-
was marking any of
No,
them.
dude, it didn't even get close to him.
No, he had so much space
it
to
made
just
no
head,
sense.
and he literally had time to put his head back and just go, I'm going to put it in the top corner. Bang.
Yeah.
And you're going, where were the markers? And then one of the commentators goes, I think someone that was marking him was blocked off. There was no one marking
No.
him from the start,
Yeah, dude,
from
at
before
no
the
point.
free kick.
But you know why? Because they would have looked at, he's never scored. No, it's all right.
Yeah,
You need to
yeah, we
mark
can leave him
others.
free. Yeah. It's kind of like when you got, like, say, Draymond Green on the 3-point line. Oh, no, Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Ben Simmons on the 3-point line. Everywhere just leave him.
Yeah,
Let him
just, yeah.
let him shoot. You know
Let
what
him
I
have
mean?
it.
Yeah, well, unfortunately for Fulham, it didn't work
Yeah, he
out.
got his 3-point this time, bitch.
Matoma had a goal, but Minte was offside. So that was in the first half. Then second half, Matoma gets his goal, but Minte goes offside. And then on Digra?
Oh,
Adingra.
yeah.
He then had a goal. Was also offside. So again, you can see Brighton were pushing.
And it's what they've done all year, right?
Bro, they don't stop.
No,
They
dude.
just
And
don't
they've
stop.
got the quality to score the goal in there.
Yeah, fuck
So
yeah,
that's
they
the
do.
dangerous thing for them, that they can score a goal.
Yep.
And if you allow them space, and again, leave people unmarked, they will score.
Yep. So you can see Brighton were going, and then there was 5 minutes of extra time, 94 minutes and like 50 seconds. Reed again goes to clear the ball, and Pedro puts his foot in front of him, gets
Gets a
fouled, penalty. And you're like, fuck, bro. I couldn't fucking believe it. And then
But that's how it goes down. You panic clear, and the players, like, especially like South American players, are like the best at it,
they are.
right? Like
They can just say, just put your foot in front, in between the foot and the ball,
yeah,
and you get cleared.
yeah. They know that it's not going to be there. And look, I mean, it's probably something that defenders should be aware of, right? Like,
Definitely.
you shouldn't be going for a giant hoof clearance.
Yeah,
These guys can put some pressure on it. Put it out to the side.
Just flick it up, flick it
Yeah,
out, like
just
anywhere.
get it away.
Especially
Put
in the 90,
Yeah.
like with 10 seconds to go.
Put it into safety.
Yeah. So then João Pedro gets his goal. So Brighton get a 2-1 win.
But then we had the Brentford Villa game.
So I had Brentford in this game,
I also went Brentford in this game.
and they just did not really look like they were into it. I don't know.
They weren't creating many chances. I
No.
don't think Wissa was getting on the ball.
Not at all, no.
But even Villa wasn't creating a lot.
Villa
They were
did
dominating the game. Like, Rodgers was having a field day in the game.
Bro, he is a good player, but his output lately in terms of goals and assists has dried up.
But also, he did have that run where every game,
Yep.
doubles in game,
Yep.
getting goals and assists.
Dude, he was in my fantasy that time. I was loving him.
So was I, dude.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about it.
We'll get into that later. But let's get back into the game. So, look, not much really happened in the first half, but Watkins got his goal off a counter-attack, deflected off the defender's leg, and just happened to go in. So, and I think it nutted the keeper. It nutted Flecken, so that went in. Then Rogers scores a minute later, but Watkins was offside in the build-up play, so it stayed 1-0. Lewis Potter hits the post in the 72nd minute. Then comes the penalty shouts. Now, there was one where Shard gets pushed in the back by Disassi.
These two
There was
shouts-
what was the other one?
So the first one was Disassi comes running in.
Oh, and he tackles Cash, right?
He slips over. So Matty Cash makes the challenge.
Yep.
Right, which is a completely
And
fair
gets the
challenge.
ball.
Then
Yep.
Disassi comes in, slips, takes Matty Cash out, and Shard,
Yeah.
right, in the box. Now, there's this shout there to go, that's a penalty, dude, because he has no involvement in the play whatsoever, and you've just come in and taken him out. I can see it going either way. I can see where the refs is like, well, he slipped over. The ball actually, he wasn't on goal.
And the ball was out, I think, at that point.
Or just gone out.
Yeah.
Or was right about
I think it was
to
a
go.
corner.
So I think they just looked at it like it's very unintentional.
Yeah, just let that one slide.
Yeah. However, the second one,
The push in the back.
in the back, I think it is a penalty.
Yeah.
Because he has the ball at his feet. He's going past Disassi.
Yeah.
And Disassi just takes him down.
He just barrels him in the back. So I think we spoke about this earlier. Now, initially, I thought it wasn't a penalty, but then I watched it again and again, and I'm thinking, more I watch it, I'm going, that's a pen.
Yeah.
You can't just shove someone in the back when they're running away from goal. It doesn't matter where they're, like, if you're in the box, you can't just shove them in the back.
That's what I mean. It
wasn't shoulder to shoulder. It was shoulder to back.
Yeah,
that's a foul.
It was shoulder to back as the player has full control of the ball.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're going in to make it like a physical challenge to get the ball, right? It's like a 50-50 and you're both going in to get it and look, oh, you're a bit behind him. I could understand that and I'd sit there and go, well, VAR probably shouldn't intervene because, you know, like it was a 50-50 and in fast motion, obviously it looks a little bit less than when you start doing the
slow-mo
pauses and slow it down, right? Because you do anything.
Yeah.
So I would have understood that, but he has the full control of the ball. Like he's dribbling. Like it's not like there was no way Disassi could get the ball.
Yep.
Right? There was no, all right, the ball's bouncing up here. They're both looking at the ball and they crash into each other. Anything like that. It's just, he just fouls him.
Yeah.
And gets nothing.
And they get away with it, which was lucky for them because I think it was a pen. You think it was a pen. Then, look, still 1-0 at this time. Brentford push forward. Watkins gets a one-on-one, tries to chip the keeper, and falls straight to him. Try to get real cheeky because you're up 1-0. But Villa hold out and they get a 1-0 win. Now, I had
think
Brentford.
they need it.
They did need it. Now, I had Brentford because obviously Villa played in the Champions League during the week and they had to go away. So 2 away games, 2 wins, pretty good for them.
No, 100%. I had Brentford.
Yep. Next game was Everton.
Wolves Everton.
Now, I had Everton. I'm thinking Everton at home.
I had
no Cunha.
I had Everton as well.
And
but to be fair, when you see the result, like a draw makes sense.
It does make
these
sense.
2 teams makes 100% sense.
Yeah.
But we're on the kind of. I mean, I'm on the Beto train, right? I put him in my fucking team.
Ever since we put that fucking bet on, he hasn't scored.
Dude, he hasn't scored. Well, he scored one.
One,
game,
sorry.
And then he just refuses to score. Not only that, he misses. How many chances did he miss in this game?
Yeah, he had a lot. He had a lot of chances. But look, the first goal went to Jack Harrison, the former Leeds player.
That's his first goal for Everton, isn't it?
Bro, I think it was, yeah. But bro, huge deflection. Literally comes off both of the defenders' legs and caresses itself into the goal. You're going, bro, do that again.
Yeah.
Do that again. You couldn't do that again. And then Munetzi? I think Munetzi is how you say his name?
Munetzi, yeah.
Munetzi.
It's a good attempt if it's not.
Yeah, thank you. He gets his goal back. They just kept pressed. Like, that 5 minutes between Jack Harrison's goal and Munetzi's goal, it was just Wolves.
Yeah.
They push. Got the goal. So then they go through.
And like without Cunha, it's a good result for them to get, right?
And especially because they're coming 17th at the moment, so they've pushed them another point away from relegation. So very good point for Wolves.
100%.
Chelsea game?
Yeah, Chelsea-Leicester.
We'll do Chelsea-Leicester. Okay, look, we'll run through this one really quick. It was Leicester. We should have beaten Leicester. We did 1-0. Wasn't convincing, but we got the job done. The big news in this is Palmer missed his first official penalty.
Hey, I don't know what is going on with this guy.
I think someone's done some voodoo shit on him.
I don't know if it's just like had a bad run of games and then obviously the media, because he went from like just a guy from Man City who everyone counted
just
out.
wanted the ball, right?
Yeah, and he's come to Chelsea and he's just balled out at Chelsea and he's just gone from regular dude to going to like these Met Gala level events. He's on every kind of talk show. He's getting interviewed by everyone.
Did you see he got named most handsome
footballer?
I'm like, are you fucking kidding?
Yeah.
Bro, he looks like he should be in the short bus.
Yeah.
And you're gonna put him as
we're making fun of Courtois before, and he might be worse.
Kind of the same.
Yeah.
So look, it stayed 0-0 after that, and I was obviously everyone in the stadium was just shocked that couldn't even score a penalty. He is so cold right now, and not the good cold.
No.
Not the cold Palmer that
No,
we
dude,
of last year.
that's what I mean.
This
He's
is
not even
ice
around
cold.
doing
Like can't even do that. And then Tossian nearly scored an own goal. Leicester crossed the ball in. Sanchez comes flying out with no one in the box for Leicester. There was no one there. Comes flying out. Tossian comes off Tossian's head, comes off the crossbar.
Yeah, that was
and then
close.
Jamie Vardy and Colwill go up for the ball. Colwill gets the ball, but they clash heads then after that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had to stop play. And you're just thinking, we're going to lose this. Like, I was convinced we were going to.
Well, I mean, you're lucky that kind of Leicester can't score a goal.
That was our
Right?
big.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, that was the big thing. Yeah,
Because like they're obviously relying on Jamie Vardy. He almost got one.
he did almost get one. Yep. So I think, and then Sanchez saved that one.
Mhm.
So that was they had something. That was the one thing that was our saving grace. We weren't up against an opponent that is an attacking threat.
Yeah.
Look, and then there was a penalty shout in the second half. Neto got clipped. We didn't get it. Play on. And then Kukurea gets the winning goal in the 60th. Nice goal outside the box.
Yeah, look, I mean, it was a straightforward win.
It was a straightforward win. There's nothing to brag about. There's nothing to go on about.
No.
This is more of like, okay, we got the 3 points. Let's focus on the Conference League, which we got on Friday. And then let's go into the next game, which is Arsenal. This was, look, they got the 3 points, job done.
Yeah.
Spurs.
Yeah, Tottenham, Bournemouth.
So I had Spurs in this.
I had draw.
Good pick. Very good pick.
Yeah.
Obviously I had Chelsea in that.
Yeah.
Now, look, my title for this is Bad Day for Kepa.
Yeah, no. It definitely was.
Yeah.
Right? Because Bournemouth went up 2-0.
Well, Bournemouth should have been up 2-0 after 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So after 17 seconds, Pedro Porro passes into the middle and Evan Nielsen nearly scored. 17 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we're talking about Vicario. Fucking pulls it out again.
Mate, his first half performance,
Out of control.
even though he copped goals, was out of control. Because that could have been devastating. It could have been 4-5-0.
Exactly. It could have been.
Could have been 4-5-0.
Easily could have been 4-5-0.
And him coming back has just showed how much he's missing. I think
Oh,
look,
bad.
you get the two centre backs back in there, Romero and Van de Ven. I think those two goals don't happen
So I reckon too.
because you see them they're overlapping the fullbacks.
Yep.
And then when they get the ball inside, there's all these unmarked players.
Yeah.
And like especially players like Evan Nielsen could not be left unmarked. Semenyo is just like at halfway because they had the overturned goal as well in the game, which it comes in the second half, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
But it's just more of the point that when you get those two centre backs in there, you have someone controlling that back line, and you can just see no one's controlling the back line.
They're sixes and nines.
Sixes and sevens.
6 7. Sorry, 6 and 9s.
Yeah,
Whoops.
69.
69. Then in the 4th minute, Kluivert had a shot save from Vicario. Again, Vicario just pulling out saves, saving Tottenham. But then Tavernier gets his goal from Kirkez's cross. Fuck, what a cross. Bro.
Dude, come to Liverpool, dude.
I think if you guys put in a big bid for him, I think 40 to 50 mil, he'll be over. And that will be a massive upgrade from your left back, from Robbo now and
right?
Timicas.
Yeah, 100%, right? He's a great attacking outlet. But as
Can
well,
defend.
he runs, dude.
Right, he doesn't stop.
Nah.
Which is a perfect, like, from Robbo of, say, 5 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I think he's better attacking. Not as aggressive, but the same mold of player. So it'll be a nice, easy transition.
Well,
for
and
you
also
guys.
with Soboslai in our team, there's obviously each other brothers. And,
because he's Hungarian.
He's Hungarian.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Then Kluivert gets his goal in the 51st minute, which was the one that was offside.
Yeah.
Off a counter attack.
Which was I think was it Semenyo?
Semenyo. He's coming
back from an offside position.
Yep.
He plays that ball through. And again, they got lucky there.
Mm-hmm.
Because no one picked up Semenyo.
No, everyone just forgot about it.
Everyone forgot about him because he's standing offside. If he managed to get back on side, that's a shit goal to cop.
Yep.
Because that's where the two centre backs, Romero controls.
Correct, yeah. And then look, 3 minutes later, Son hits the post, does his typical cut inside and shoots, comes off the post. But then 65th minute, Evan Nielsen gets his goal from a Kluivert assist. So look, Bournemouth's up 2-0 at this stage. You're thinking, fuck, there's no way Tottenham can come back from that. Yeah,
they were cruising in the game too. They weren't troubled by other than kind of Son.
Yeah, no one was really putting pressure on them.
No.
Son
their
was
back line was pretty comfortable.
Yep.
They weren't breaking the back line.
Yep.
Even through the midfield, they broke them a few times, but then they got shut down in the play. And it just wasn't. There was no build up coming from top.
There was no real attacking
which is
threat,
strange because that's what Ange does.
Yep, yep. And then, look, 2 minutes later, okay, I got to ask you about this. Saar scores his goal. Cross,
It
yeah?
was a cross. Yeah, it was a cross. If someone says anything other, I mean, look,
He looks in the box
Yeah.
to cross,
They
and
don't-
it
like-
goes that way
Hey.
over Kepper.
don't get me wrong. If I was in his position,
Oh, bro, you
I
take-
meant to do that. and I'm saying to everybody, that's what I do.
I've done that
I
before.
look into the box to fool the keeper,
yeah.
and then I shoot. That's what I do.
I've done that before.
Yeah.
But then, okay, so it's 2-1 at this stage. But then the 73rd minute, Kluivert hits the post. It was 3v4. They had the numbers, and they totally fucked it.
Yeah.
And this ended up being massive for them because 10 minutes later, Kepa takes out Son, and Son gets the penalty, scores the pen, and Spurs get a point.
Yeah, and I mean, look, it was 100% penalty.
Yeah,
Right?
easy.
Kepa came out quick, which you kind of got to do,
Yep.
but couldn't pull out.
Nah.
And I think he's done this a couple times now this season.
Yeah, he's kind of
He's
messed up.
really misjudged it.
Yeah, totally misjudged it. Yeah, so yeah, 2-2 draw.
And then we had the Man U Arsenal game.
I had Arsenal,
Everyone had Arsenal.
and I kind of, you know what, draw probably was the way to go because both teams struggled to score. I was thinking.
do they? I mean, Arsenal goes to PSV, scores 7.
All right, let me rephrase that. Both teams struggled to score in the Premier
Premier
League.
Like,
Now, obviously, look, there were no highlights except in the first half, Fernandez's goal. Now, you sent me the video.
So it's come out, and I mean, this is confirmed now, right? So
Crazy, bro.
and even when I was watching just like the highlights afterwards,
Mm.
I went, that wall's too far back.
It was a big line.
Because like where his ball's positioned, it's not the ideal position because it's just outside the 18-yard type of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like you've got to get the ball up and over the wall to get in there. Now, there's a few points that are terrible. So, yes, the wall was, and they've done like a measurement now, was 11 yards back.
There was
So
an extra yard.
That's,
That makes all the difference.
12%, right? That's
Yep.
that's a 12% difference, which makes a difference when you have to get the ball up and over. Because if you watch the free kick, it doesn't go up and then dip. He just bangs it, and it hits like almost kind of shoulder head height within the goal, not up in the top corner, which should make it easier to save. Now the second part of it is Ray is completely out of position.
Again, another keeper
Yeah.
against Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah,
First
so
one was
they're-
Pickford.
So he's gone, and this may be because of the Pickford situation where he's gone the opposite side from the free kick.
Yes.
This time he's gone up and over the wall.
Mm.
So I think he's trying to stop him from going
Like trying to rocket it.
to go to the opposite to the corner where he should save it.
Yeah.
But he takes a step, dives to go for the ball, and he's still like a foot away from the ball. Right? So you think in that situation, given like the wall there, he's able to dive and at least get a fingertip to it or something, but he can't get anything to it.
Yeah.
So, like, yes.
So maybe he's overcompensated on the one side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, yes, the wall is incorrectly lined up.
Mm.
The ref does step it out and that type of thing. But at the same time, you kind of got to notice it.
Mm.
But I was watching, obviously, like the after the post-match show, and Ian writes on it.
Yep.
And he goes and comments, he goes, at no point do the Arsenal defenders try step up, right? Because they
Like
go,
a little sneaky couple steps
Yep.
up.
correct, right? Because they go, everyone that's taking a free kick always picks up the ball and takes it a bit back.
Mm.
So they have an extra room on
Yep.
the wall. They go, you got to take a sneaky step up.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do because
Yep.
you've got tall people on that wall. You
Yeah,
shouldn't be
yeah.
able to get it up and over.
But then I think the big point about this game after that was David Raya. Right, he pulled off some fucking big saves
That double save that he made
at the end of the game.
at the end of the game.
We will get into that, but there was a
Insane.
massive save before that where Mazraoui, he had a cracker game.
Mhm.
He makes this run. I think it's Hoyland cuts it in, or maybe Fernandez, and he shoots it, and Raya saves it. And you just think, how did Mazraoui not put that through? But then 20 minutes later, Rice gets his goal, shushes the fans.
Yeah, it was a nice goal. Don't get me wrong.
It was
It's
very nice.
it's a
Outside the
thing.
box, comes off the post.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Beautiful
nice
goal.
goal. But why are you shushing the fans?
Yeah,
Who are
you're
you
drawing.
shushing?
You're drawing. You know you're supposed to be coming second.
Bro, it's the 74th minute. You're still technically chasing for number one.
Yeah.
And you go and celebrate in the corner with an equalising goal? Bro, wake up.
Yeah, I mean,
Wake
wake
up,
up
bro.
to- But again, this is what I say about Arsenal fans. And this is why.
James's Arsenal fan of the
No,
week.
dude, because they take satisfaction with beating lesser teams. And they take satisfaction with other teams losing.
Yep.
Right? Like, they'll sit there and they go, well, I mean, we're better than Tottenham.
Yeah, they
at
love
least
that
Tottenham
one.
can't beat us.
Mm.
But who cares?
Mm.
Like, why do you care if Tottenham can or can't beat you?
I would love Tottenham to win the Europa League, and they can say we won a trophy this year. What did you win? Could you imagine?
It'd be so good.
Oh,
Because you talk to any Arsenal fan around what they expect for their season, and they'll tell you beat Tottenham. Or
they set the bar real high.
And then or you have them this year, and you just go, I mean, you guys should go pretty hard for the FA Cup. It's either the league or the Champions League. Then you look at them. This is halfway through the season. I'm like, what makes you think you're going to be able to catch Liverpool? Like,
and what makes you think you'll win the Champions League? You haven't gone past the quarterfinal in fucking what 15 years? Or
You've
something?
never won it.
Never won it. Yeah.
When's the last time they were in a final?
06. When they lost to Barcelona. Henri was there when that was probably like their greatest team.
Years ago, essentially.
Nearly 20 years since they've made a final. And you think you're just going to win?
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, that's right. And with the team,
although you got cunts like Tyler, like, oh, we're going to win the quadruple.
Yeah, and then
bro?
At the same time going, oh, we have so many injuries.
Okay.
Cool.
So does everyone else.
You know, like that's what I mean. I love that list that came out with all the teams that have the most days with injured players.
Yeah, who was number one? Spurs was second.
Brighton's number one.
Brighton number one, that's right.
I don't see them complaining, dude.
They don't complain.
You know what I mean?
They just get on with the job.
Arsenal's like 5th. I'm like, all right, you've lost some big players.
I get it. You're losing Saka.
Players.
Losing Saka hurts. I totally get it.
But here's my other point about it, is that they didn't lose them because of big tackles in the game. They lost them in the training pitch.
Overworked.
And then you go and look at the Arsenal fan TV and stuff like that. And before Saka gets injured, all the players they're running Saka
into the
ragged.
ground.
He's playing 90 minutes every game, 2 to 3 games a week, sometimes. So you saw it coming.
Yeah, everyone knew it was coming.
Everyone sat there and went, oh, damn, I wish he wasn't injured. But you fucking saw it. I failed to see how you're sitting there like this.
And like, hasn't he played like 300 games? And he's like 22 years, something like that.
Yes,
that's a crazy amount of games, bro.
It's ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, and obviously his body was gonna say no at some stage, and look what's happened.
Yeah, correct.
That comes down to man management.
Yeah.
Look, late in the game, it was 1-1 at this stage, which is how it ended. But Højlund had a couple chances. Great tackle by Rice, and there was another great tackle by I think Saliba. Bro, Højlund you got to take your chance. You've been getting smashed in the media. He just took too much time on the ball. You want
to feel sorry for him, but at the same time, it's just you've had your chance. Xerxes got better chances.
Xerxes nearly got a goal in this game with the back heel flick, but again, he can't score. And like you said, Højlund has had his chances. Been there longer. He starts more games. He should be scoring more. I think Xerxes has more goals than him.
Yeah, he does. He does. More goals and assists.
Yeah. And then, like we're talking about, 94th minute, the Raya double save. Bro, how he pulled that out. Saved Arsenal.
Look, he's probably one of the best keepers in the Premier League, if not the world at the moment, right? For form-wise, he's overperforming.
He keeps a lot of clean sheets. If not a clean sheet, he'll concede one goal. So yeah, very, very good in between the sticks.
100%.
Then we'll finish off with the Newcastle game. I had Newcastle in this one. Look, not a very interesting game. Would you have?
I draw.
It's close.
Yeah, I had a draw
because it was a very, very boring game.
I just thought Newcastle's form's been dropping off. No Aaron Gordon, no Lewis. You know, Ishak's just coming back from his groin. But and I thought he won't be there. And to be fair, Ishak wasn't really in the game.
He was not in the game.
He didn't have many chances because no Gordon.
Best player in the field, Harvey Barnes. He was everywhere.
He's the most active.
He was the most active on that pitch.
You do kind of see he's very one-dimensional.
Oh yeah,
player, right?
Yeah,
like you know what he wants to do. Either wants to get to the byline or he wants to cut inside.
Yeah,
right. There is two options, and I don't think he's Doku kind of turn you inside out, but he does keep running at you, and he does like that near.
Yeah. So look, Souček nearly had a goal in the first minute.
How he missed that, I don't know.
That's Souček's bread and butter, right?
Oh, dude, 6-yard box, bro.
Yeah, full over the bar.
Fuck.
And look, that was pretty much there was a few half chances in the first half. That was pretty much it. And then Bruno Guimaraes, I think we'll say his name, gets his goal off a Harvey Barnes cross. So, and then that was pretty much it. Nothing much happened after that.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of half chances.
Yeah. So that was round 28.
So let's jump into the first round of Europa League games.
Yeah, round of 16.
Around of 16.
Yep.
I think there's some surprising results here.
There were some very surprising results, yes.
The first game, Tottenham and AZ.
Yep.
They
Look-
go down 1-0.
Look, good thing for Tottenham is that was only 1-0 and it was away from home. So they get to go to London Stadium on Friday. And
You'd hope that they can turn it, but Solanke getting injured in the game.
again, bro, like, oh my God. Ange cannot pop a break.
No.
Oh, players are starting to come back. Another injury.
Yeah, and this is not like the Arsenal situation where they just played him too much.
Mm.
This is just pure unlucky, like tackles in games.
Yep.
They're getting injured. Like
Yep.
this is what you could actually go
Mm.
because you I wish that it was my fault because then I could actually go I can correct.
Yeah.
But there's nothing for him to correct.
Mm.
Right? Players in games just running and they're like bang, hamstring, big tackle, bang, they go down.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, so I think Tottenham will turn it around, but it'll be interesting to see if they can, because they looked very lackluster in that first game. So we'll see if they can pick it up.
They're very slow.
Yep.
Then you had Frankfurt Ajax.
This one very surprising, considering Frankfurt were away.
Well,
in the first leg.
Mamouche, right? They just lost their main striker.
Mm-hmm.
And win 2-1.
And they're still performing.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's it. Then we had Olympiacos and Bodo Glimt.
Yeah, Bodo Glimt pumped them 3-0.
Yeah, I think we picked Olympiacos because we had no idea who Bodo Glimt was.
Well, now, look at me now.
Yeah. Look at me, winning 3-0.
Lazio. So Lazio game was very interesting. They copped 2 red cards in the game.
Right.
And ended up with 9, and they scored in the 98th minute to win the game.
All right. Well,
So looking very good moving into the second leg in Rome.
well, then we had Rangers Fenerbahce.
Bro, Jose was not happy. He said
No,
they
dude.
should have lost by more.
Dude, we were saying, we're talking about the dream game.
Fenerbahce Roma.
Fenerbahce Roma.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like that may happen.
Well, look.
See how he
To
can
be
turn it
fair,
around.
Fenerbahce just need to win. I'm not saying just, but like they can win 2-0, take it to extra time, see how it goes. But they're going
Easier
to
said than
Scotland.
done.
Going to Scotland.
Yep.
With a Turkish team, like it's an older Turkish team. So yeah, it would be a big tall ask for Fenerbahce to come back from that.
Then we had Athletic Club Roma.
So the first game was a great game to watch, and Roma actually scored in the last kick of the game. So both Italian teams scored in the last minute of the game, last kick of the game.
That's what they're good at, dude.
Pellegrini, so not Nico Williams, the other Williams, his brother, Inaki Williams or something like that.
Inaki, yeah.
He scored for Athletic Club, and it would be very interesting going back to Spain for the second leg.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Could go either way.
And look, Leon against FCSB, kind of predicted that.
Yeah.
Leon, FCSB are Romanian or something. So,
Yeah.
we kind of predicted Leon. And look, the last game, which I think will be the most interesting game, is Man U Sociedad. Look, Man U did well to get away with a 1-1 draw in Spain.
Yeah.
So now that we go back to Old Trafford, call it the Theatre of Dreams, as I like to call it. I think
the theater of nightmares, dude.
Well, I think it's the place that needs renovation.
Yeah, dude, it's full of rats. I'm gonna keep bringing it up. There's fucking rats in there, dude. They come out in the middle of a game.
They're that comfortable coming out
Yeah.
that they just come out in the middle of the game.
They're like, all right, we'll
there's
let
like
you guys
70,000
rent the
people.
pitch.
There's 70,000 people plus 22, say 25 people on the pitch. Fuck, I'm gonna go for a run.
Yeah.
See you, babes.
Yeah, crazy. Hey, some guys dropped some chips over there. Let's go eat.
Gross. But yeah, it'd be
retarded,
very,
dude.
very interesting to see how Man U do tomorrow.
Well, then we had the Conference League.
Yeah,
So
look, let's quickly
flick it over.
Let's quickly run through the Conference League because, I mean, like, let's be real, it's the Conference League. So, look, first one, Vitória versus Real Betis, ended 2-2. Very, very good move by Vitória. I think they're Portuguese. So now Real Betis go back to Portugal, and we'll see. I'm hoping Vitória win because it means if Chelsea go through, easier games.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that goes. Jagolinha, sure.
Yeah.
They beat Cercle Bruges 3-0. Cool.
And again, I think we went Bruges on that one because I had no idea who Jagiellonia is.
Then we got Celje and Lugano. Cool. Celje went up 1-0. This game was very interesting. Panathinaikos beat Fiorentina
Well, at least they're
3-2.
two teams that people know.
Yes. But now we're going back to Italy, going back to Florence for this one. So I am still expecting Fiorentina to go through on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea won 2-1 away from home. Look, Reece James scored a nice goal. And
I mean, look, you guys should be progressing.
we should be progressing. Now we're going back to Stamford Bridge for the second leg, so we should be progressing.
Should be progressing.
Yep. Now we've got Legia Warsaw and Mold. Look, 3-2 to Mold, but now we're going back to Poland, I believe Legia Warsaw is from. So
Yeah.
see how that goes. 1-0 to Pafos. I think they were the Cypriot team.
Yeah.
Yep. So now we're going to Dragon, who are the Swedish team, I believe. So two nice countries you'd like to visit at some stage. Sure, why not? Yeah. And then we had Bordak and SK Rapid, 1-1.
1-1 draw.
Yeah, so we'll just keep you updated. There's not a lot of look. The only interest in that one for me is obviously Chelsea, but we'll just make sure that we're up to date with what's going on.
That's it. Well, why don't we jump into our predictions for match day 29?
So shortened week this week because of the EFL Cup.
Why don't we go into obviously the EFL Cup?
Yes. So look,
So we've got Liverpool versus
Newcastle
in that cup final.
Yep.
Now, there's obviously a lot of drama.
Yes.
That probably happened leading into the game.
Yep.
Obviously, Aaron Gordon getting a red card.
Yep.
Is kind of a massive talk point.
Yep.
And obviously showed in their EPL game.
Yes.
Right? Again, they've had a lot more time off in between games.
Yeah, you guys had the 120 minutes against PSG.
So this morning.
Yep.
So that's obviously going to weigh on. Now, yes, all right, they've got days
Extra
in between games. Before they got to travel to the final.
Yep.
And look, both teams kind of got to travel about the same distance.
Yep.
Right, from Newcastle and Liverpool.
Yep.
So that's gonna be a factor. But then also on top of that, you've got who out for the rest.
Yep.
And then there's a speculation on whether on Ishak 100% apparently got a pain or
that week off might have been exactly what he needed.
Correct, right? He's obviously going to be able to rest. And he's obviously the man, which we saw in the 3-3 draw had earlier.
Correct,
Yeah. Banger. Like, obviously, I think coming into this, probably got the show.
Yep.
But again, nothing's guaranteed in this football, especially with a team like Newcastle, because they do have creative outlets.
Yeah.
But the loss of...
And I think the injury cloud over Ishak is obviously massive.
Yeah. You want to be 100% to come up.
Well, Kanate actually came off.
No, it's confirmed he'll play.
He'll play?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
What about Trent? Because Trent also
he was
came
a
off.
bit tired. Trent, no.
Trent, no?
So it looks like we won't.
So it means Kwanzaa will start because you've got no Gomez, who's out.
No Connor Bradley.
No Connor Bradley, no Trent. So that's three potential right backs gone. So it means Kwanzaa will probably play.
What? We should fucking Arsenal and just start to come. Oh, well, yeah. If you lost 3 right backs.
Arsenal jab right there. But look, it's a final. Anything can happen. I think this is Newcastle's first final in quite a while.
They haven't won a trophy.
50 years. 50 years
so
since
it
their
would
last
mean
trophy.
a lot for them to win it. They're going to come out all guns blazing.
Yeah,
they're going to want this trophy.
I just saw there was an interview that someone Bruno had, and he said that this is their World Cup final.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because look, it gets the ball.
Yep.
And look,
it's those trophies that go, okay, we can build from there.
Well, and also a lot of these players want to prove. Like players like Ishak, he wants to leave. Reportedly, pretty much. However, Newcastle's coming. We're not letting him go unless we have Champions League.
Yep.
Have Champions
League. Yeah.
Yep. Which makes sense.
Yep.
Right. So, something like Cup final.
Yep.
Helps his wanting to leave.
Fuck yeah. And at least if he leaves with giving Newcastle their first trophy in 50 years.
Yeah.
So, but for you guys, it's a case of you win a double.
Mm-hmm.
So both teams, there's a lot on the line for both teams.
100%. 100%.
So Monday morning, 3:30 a.m. Be there or be asleep. I'm going to be asleep.
I'm going to be there. James is going to be sad on Monday.
All right, let's get into round 29. So where are we starting?
Everton and West Ham.
I've got draw.
I've gone Everton.
I do like Everton, but they've actually had a lot of draws recently.
They have.
And I think it'll be a tight game again.
I think it's more that West Ham don't take their chances. So,
yeah.
To differ.
They've got to differ on some. It'll either be like a 1-0 or a 0-0, something like that. That's how I see it.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yep.
Then we've got Southampton and Wolves.
Southampton Wolves. Well, I've gone Wolves.
I've also gone Wolves.
I just can't tip. I don't care that Cunha's not there. I just can never tip Southampton.
I mean, you have to make a catastrophic mistake for them.
Southampton to score?
Yeah. So, like we did, right?
Yes.
But then it's also, are they going to hold you?
And I think Wolves still have enough quality.
I can't name you a Southampton.
Smallbone. I don't even know. Centre back.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I know
Like,
his name.
We only know that because we said it an hour before.
And I like the name Small Bone.
Then we've got Ipswich and Forest.
Look, I was thinking draw, but I've gone Forest.
Yeah.
I just think now that they're pushing for top 4, Ipswich, I feel like they know that they're out of contention and they're going to get relegated, whereas Forest are pushing for top 4. So
Yeah,
I've gone Forest.
I've also gone Forest in this one.
Yep.
Then we've got Man City and Brighton.
Look, not confidently, City.
I've
Brighton,
gone the opposite.
You've gone Brighton?
I've gone Brighton.
Dude, I do like that bet because they've won 6 games in a row now.
Dude,
they're just playing so well.
Form. City cannot score to save their life.
Yeah, I know.
Brighton are scoring kind of for fun. They're having more goals overturned than they can score. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so,
and they're still winning.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So I just thought City at home, they're still, I mean, I know both teams are pushing for that top 6, top 4, but yeah, look, I've just gone City on that one.
Well, then we've got Bournemouth and Brentford.
I've gone draw.
I've also gone draw.
Look, I think this will be, like last time they played, it was 3-2. It was a very high scoring game, very entertaining game. I feel like it would be the same.
Well,
Brentford
I think both teams
been,
are a bit of a slump of form too.
They both stagnated.
Yeah, and I just think, look, Bournemouth, Tottenham. I think Brentford will be a lot better.
Brentford are also performing a lot better away from home now, so that's why
Yeah, they've flipped the script.
Yeah, they used to be the best at
They're
home, and they sucked away,
destroying
and now
at
they've
home.
gone the other way around. It's fucking crazy.
Then we've got Arsenal and Chelsea.
So
It's a big game.
It is a massive game. Both teams pushing to stay in, like we're pushing to stay in the top 4. They're pushing to kind of keep everybody away from them, so they keep that second spot.
Yep.
So look, I've gone draw. I think Arsenal will be favourites for this game. I just
they
can't.
are at home.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, that's going to be the big thing. That's why I've gone Arsenal.
Yep.
Purely because they're at home.
Mm.
I think if it was away, I'd probably either go draw or Chelsea.
Yeah.
But just being at home, especially with Arsenal, they need the win.
And especially that, I know they're playing tomorrow in the Champions League, but they're not going to play anyone.
They lose this game, right? They lose this game. We are kind of... We're
pretty much
looking,
there.
We're looking to break the record. Our own record
in terms
from 2020 of winning the league with the most games to spare.
earliest.
So we hold the record currently from 2019, 2020.
Yeah.
When we won it with 7 games to go.
Yep.
So if they lose this game, I think we essentially could win it.
Because you guys have played
round.
29, so you got 9 more games to go.
Yeah, so we've got 9 more games to go. If they lose this game, what's that put? That puts us on
15?
equal games, 15 points clear.
With 9 to go, which means that so if you keep winning a couple more, they lose.
Then we're on.
We're pushing for it.
Well, that's what I mean. If we go 18 points, clear, right? They lose their next game, then.
Well, if they lose their next, you're 15 points now. So if they lose their next game, you're still 15, but you've both played the same amount of games
with 9 games.
With 9 to go, which means that you would probably need them to drop 2 more games, which would equal the 7.
Yeah.
So we'll come close to it. Well, I'd love to help you out with that.
Sure, thanks, man. Then we got Fulham and Tottenham.
I just can't pick Fulham. I just do not like. Not that I can't pick them to tip. I just don't know how they're going to play.
No.
So I've gone draw.
I've also gone draw in this one.
I just can't pick them.
I'm just going to sit down and go, well, Fulham's just going to play how Tottenham want to play.
Yeah.
And
it could be a high-scoring game.
It could be, or it could be absolutely no goals whatsoever. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the last game we've got Leicester and Man U.
I just can't. I don't want to tip this because I can't tip Man U, but I just cannot tip Leicester. They can't score a goal. They haven't scored. They've scored 1 goal in 6 games in the Premier League.
Man U only scores if Fernandes gets a free kick.
Yeah, it's if they only score off set pieces.
Yeah.
Free kick, penalty, corners.
Yeah.
That's it. So look, I've gone Man U, but not because they're playing better, but because Leicester just suck at the moment.
Well, look, before we sign off, why don't we jump into our fantasy league teams?
Yeah, let's do fantasy.
Dude, I've been sucking so hard at fantasy this year. Dude, I don't even know. Every change I make is just the wrong change.
Yeah.
And I've just sucked so hard, dude.
It's been frustrating this year.
The dive from like Palmer has killed.
Yep.
I've thought I used my wild card well, and I brought all these players in the points, and all of them just suck, dude. Like, you brought in Nweri thinking, Arsenal will hold their form and challenge us, and they've done the opposite, dude.
Yeah, it's like as soon as they get involved with a challenge, they just kind of crumble, and they've crumbled. And
yeah.
I thought Nweri would have a good shot at getting goals and assists, considering no Martinelli, no Havertz, no Saka. Mm-hmm. He's getting more game time, not doing anything.
Yep, Minte, I bring him into the and he only scores in cup matches, bro.
Yeah.
Like, he plays the thing, and he just doesn't score, bro. I just don't understand. Then you put him in a cup match against, like, a harder opponent, and he's like, you want a hat-trick? There you go, bro.
There you go.
Fuck you. And then you know, look, I was a bit annoyed. I put Kirkes on my bench. I think Christie was a stupid trade.
Look, Kirkes on the bench did make sense considering that they were playing Tottenham away, yeah. So I think it was because they did concede 2, but obviously he got that good assist. So
keeping Sells on the bench, which makes sense. They're versing Man City away,
yeah,
and
it was City away.
It was
my God,
City away,
right,
and I thought Brentford against Villa would be able to, do something. Flecken made some good saves.
I mean, he got the extra point, but yeah.
But, Munez is the only good one that I've brought.
Yeah.
Salah. I think it's
Yeah,
time
look,
for Alexander-Arnold.
Salah got you fucking more than half your point.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's time for now. I don't think he's numbers that I need for his value.
I feel like he's kind of already like half in, half out, considering you guys are pretty much won the title. He's looking to greener pastures, or whether he's looking towards that new contract. There's something going. There's something ahead. He doesn't need to worry about this year. So I think he's kind of out of it.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Yeah. But this week's going to be hard. I was missing games, so I've got Noz out. I've got Alexander. I've got Mohammed, and I've got Ishak out.
Yep.
So I'm going to have to. It looks like all players on my bench and up.
Yeah, so you're going to have to rely on.
I'm going to have to bring all these guys on. Whether or not I sub out Alexander-Arnold, I'm tossing.
Okay.
We'll see.
I think it'll be him or Ishak, right?
Yeah.
Well, Ishak has the double game. So, for me...
I think, look, Ishak has a better run than what Liverpool does. And I think, obviously, with him, twisting the ankle.
Who knows how long he'll be out for?
Correct. He could be out for a couple of weeks.
The good thing is that you've got until Sunday morning. So we've still got a few days as of this recording. So
yeah. Why don't we jump into your team?
Yep. Well, look, I was a little bit happy with my team. My big points came from Henderson and Munoz.
Henderson's a great call.
Yeah, like I was so happy with that move, getting Henderson. Now, look, I made my trade of Tarkowski thinking they keep a clean sheet against Wolves. Didn't happen, so obviously it didn't work out. Look, Captain Salah, thank God I looked at my fantasy team before the game. I actually had Palmer as captain from last week. I forgot to change it. And I looked at it and I was going, oh, no, fuck that. I want Salah. Luckily, I put Salah in. Got me an extra 28 points. 29 points. But then other than that, it was no one. And again, I had Kirkes on the bench, but all my points came from Salah, Munoz, and Henderson.
Can I say Robinson's bad run of form? Oh,
yeah, he's not
producing anything.
No.
Dude.
So look, luckily for me this week, I still have my wild card. I am dropping my wild card this week.
Hey, good choice, man.
I'm going to save my free hit for the last round, and I'll just make all the changes I want with whoever's playing. And then I've still got my bench boost as well. So I'll wait to use that probably in the double rounds. I might use my bench boost. So
I've still got my manager to do. I think I may be using that for double headers that Newcastle has coming up.
Yep.
And just, fingers crossed they can actually produce something.
Yeah, don't do what I did with fucking Arteta. Just, yeah.
Hey, listen, the amount of times
that
I rag on, I don't think I can use Arteta. Like, it would just be wrong.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
They suck. I hate their club. Yeah. I'm going to take their manager for my fantasy team.
Yeah. I'd be a pure hater, dude.
But there's going to be some big changes in my team. I'm going to make a lot of changes.
Yeah, perfect. All right, another good week, man.
Yeah.
Well, on to next week. Hopefully we can do better in
next week. We'll get into Champions League, Europa League, Conference League, EFL Cup. We've got a lot of games to go through next week.
We've got international break after that, right?
Yeah, we got plenty of time to go through all those games.
Exactly right. All right, thanks everybody.
Thank you.